Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Levan Miller. And you're listening to us on channel 103.5, the Beat FM, channel 224, channel 112, that's on cable and on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios. But wherever you are joining us today, thank you so much for joining us. I'm joined in studio by Bradley Rowell. He is the spiritual advisor, I'm told these days, for the whole Bahamas. Bradley Rowell, welcome to Freedom.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
Overcast day outside today.
Hot.
Still very, very warm. I see that there is a tropical storm out there.
Yeah.
It is anticipated that it will at some point, maybe tomorrow,
Become a hurricane.
Can I say this?
Cat 3, possibly.
I thought I saw something about Cat 1, but can I say this? I'm not entirely sad about that.
Why?
Because if the hurricane moves in, the low pressure system will come in. That will push some cool air in this direction, hopefully.
Okay,
and cool the place down a little bit.
For a day or two.
Or maybe 10, right? At this point, Bradley, I will take whatever relief.
Yeah,
I
we
will
need
take
it.
whatever relief we can
need
get.
it. Oh,
I do
God.
not want to be insensitive about this, right? I know that even a Category 1 hurricanes can be destructive. And so I am going to admonish everybody now to do all that you can to make sure that you do the things necessary to be prepared. My hurricane strategy is insure the house and buy a plane ticket. That's my hurricane policy. So wherever you are, insure the house and then buy yourself a plane ticket in the opposite direction. Don't move though. Freedom March is going to be right back after this break. I'm Levan Miller. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us to the break. I'm leaving Miller Bradley Rowell, the spiritual advisor for the whole Bahamas, I'm told. He's with me. Bradley?
Rules of change, eh? Yep.
What
Good
does Holy Scripture have to say to us today?
We're gonna go today to the book of Acts, chapter 17.
Okay.
I was reminded of this very, very, very interesting passage today by Trevor Williamson. Trevor Williamson brought this passage.
That's my half a cousin.
You know Trevor?
That's my half a cousin. He's Auckland's boy.
Yeah, full gospel.
Yeah.
Down there on Marshall
Yeah.
Road.
Well, you know, predominantly most Auckland's fellas are Church of God, but Trevor them they fancy, so they became full gospel, and so predominantly you find
full gospel is safer because we don't want nobody preaching half of the gospel.
Predominantly you will find that Auckland's fellas predominantly are Church of God boys. Predominantly. Yeah, I don't know how they arrived at that, unless of course you
count. What does it mean, full gospel? You have to preach the full gospel.
But some fellas might only be preaching
half of it.
Yeah, but interestingly, I will say this before we get to the Holy Scripture. If you're from the Southeast in the Bahamas, you're Church of God, predominantly.
Okay.
Which is curious because
you mean the Turks and Caicos Island area?
No, I'm talking about the Michael chain.
Okay.
Crooked Island, Long Key, Auckland's, predominantly from that corridor, you find Church of God boys. But what is curious to me is the Annex Baptist Church is known as an Auckland's church.
Right down Bullfruitenberg?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know how them bunch of Auckland fellas end up in the Baptist church, but predominantly you will find that if you come out of the southeastern corridor of the Bahamas, you gravitate toward the Church of God. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it was by attrition or by design, but that is what is anecdotally proven to be the case.
Yeah. So we were in an eatery this morning, and Trevor mentioned. Do you remember Paul's speech on Mars Hill? Trevor, yes, I do very well. And every time I read it, it leaves a very powerful impression on my mind. I said, will you as well? When you read it, we're going to go to Acts chapter 17. Paul is in Athens. And of course, at a particular meeting, he went there. And he noticed there were some things very strange about Athens. They had these bunch of inscriptions. And one particular inscription says, to the unknown God. And that is where Paul begins his message. But those we got Paul's speech, Acts chapter 17. I think we're starting at verse, we're going to go to verse 22 first. But so that's the end of it. Well, let's see what Paul says to the men who were gathered there in Athens. Gathered, or you want me to get my red Bible? Thank you so much, producer. Listen, follow me as I read this, because in this sermon, there are many sermons.
Wow.
And for men who preach the gospel, this is a very compact statement by the Apostle Paul. Here's what he says. Paul then stood up in the meeting of the Areopagus and said, people of Athens, I see that in every way you're very religious. So as I walk around and look carefully at your objects of worship, I even found an altar with this inscription, to an unknown God. So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship, and this is what I'm going to proclaim to you. Go ahead, producer. The God. Sorry, we skipped again. For some strange reason, you want me to get my red Bible? I can do it. If you want me to, producer. It's Acts 17, 22 to 31. Here we go. He says, the God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by human hands. This is something very interesting to note, because all over the country we have these huge edifices being built by men, and they tell you that God lives in them, but he doesn't. He says the God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by human hands. And he is not served by human hands as if he need anything. Rather, he himself gives everyone life and breath and everything else. From one man, he made all the nations that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. That's very important. There's some immigration stuff there. God did this so that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As some of our own poets have said, we are his offspring. Therefore, since we are God's offspring, we should not think that the divine being is like gold or silver or stone, an image made by human design and skill. Go ahead, producer. In the past, God overlooked such ignorance, but now he commands all people everywhere to repent. For he has set a day when he will judge the world with justice by the man he has appointed. Who's that man? He has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead. If Jesus Christ has in fact been raised from the dead, then a day has been set when he will judge the world with justice. That's something to think about. Acts 17, 22 to 31, in your spare time, please read this. This is a very compact sermon. And in this sermon, there are sermons that could be preached. Paul's speech on Mars Hill. It's a powerful passage indeed. Thank you so much, producer. The word of God is always blessed.
Thank you very much, spiritual advisor. And so as I hear about Acts chapter 17, I recall to my mind the sermon that I heard preached by the Reverend Dr. Charles W. Sanders, The Power of the Unknown God. And he starts in his homily by saying he's going to break the text open and he's going to preach to you about the God that takes the brown cow and gives him green grass to eat.
And produce white milk.
And he gives you white milk to eat.
What a God, eh?
I want to talk to you
about that God.
About the unknown God. Yeah, I tell you, I grew up around these Baptist boys. They're
pretty good, actually, in their sermons.
They inculcated me pretty well.
Yeah, that's
I want to talk to you about the God that took the brown cow.
Give him the green grass.
Fed him the green grass.
And then he produced white milk.
And then gave you white milk. Let's talk about the unknown God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so these are wonderful. Listen, the Bible. Even if you are atheist, right? This is what I tell my atheist friends. I notice that we live in a bolster society now, and so people are shunning the description of atheism. Everybody is agnostic these days, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Because you all realize hell hot, right? You all have come to the realization that hell hot for people who go in. And so nobody wants to say they ain't believe in God no more. Everybody believe in something they just ain't call God, which is so weird to me.
That's deep.
And so agnostics, in my view, I believe, are not reprobate because they have securely agreed in their minds
about something.
That there is a power.
That is supreme.
That there is a power. And I get it. You may not want to call it
the
God.
Creator.
You may not want to call it God, right? But I tell you again, as I think in my mind right now about week before last, when we went into Cat Island, something stops the ocean at this line.
At the line, yeah. So who drew the line in the sand?
I tell you could be a shade to God, boy, you know. Something stops the ocean
from coming in all the way.
This line, something does it. My goodness.
There has to be a God somewhere.
And so I just like to call that thing. You see, this is where I mess up my agnostic friends, right? Since you can't explain it, and I can't explain it, I like to call it whatever it is, because I can't explain it. Whatever stops a million billion gallons of water
from coming in so far,
right at this line.
Yeah.
I won't call that thing.
I believe in that.
God.
Yep, absolutely.
whatever that is. You draw up whatever scientific equation you desire. the thing that stopped the water at the line, I'm gonna call God, and then you could call it whatever you desire.
Well,
this is where I mess with my agnostic friends, and so that's what's happening around here.
Indeed.
But Paul is one of my two favorite characters of the Bible. I think I've said that to you before.
Yeah.
I'm not a Jesus Christian. I don't really know if I like all the things Jesus was doing all the time, but I think a lot of times if you follow the people that Jesus or God found good favor with, some of those guys were pretty okay, and I like to follow them. And Paul is one, and Peter is one.
And they were faulty at times too.
And then you have to be a little faulty, because other than that, because if I'm faulty, I need Jesus.
No, exactly.
And I want us to always be resolved in our minds that anytime you see Levan, guarantee this, Levan need Jesus.
Yeah.
But because
You're not
my
perfect.
friend, but for the grace of God. I tell you, I feel my church of God flaring up. I feel my church of God flaring up.
Absolutely.
But for the grace of God,
I am.
there go I also.
I am what I am.
Yeah, and so, these are the things that, and so I think this was a powerful
Speech indeed.
text today by the apostle, Acts chapter 17. The unknown God.
I'm going to proclaim to you.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Not because you all don't know, but because you all know, and I just said this to someone today, the most dangerous...
It was something that they knew though,
You all
but
know.
they were just not certain. They said this God is unknown. There is a God, but he's not known.
I talking to my agnostic friends today, because I like to hear them, right? And they go to wonderful colleges, right? And they create these dissertations and they enter in their soliloquies for assessment and they go into the annals of academia, and they come back out with all of the ribbons and all of the ropes and all of the drapes, and they come back with all of these phenomenal ideologies. The thing I love about Christianity is it is the simplicity. Except you believe in your heart the Lord Jesus, you shall be saved. Boom, you see how simple that is? And I feel like that's why Mama them had it so good. My grandmother used to say this to me, and I'm going to tell you about the thing I told someone today, which is one of the most dangerous people in life is the fella that don't know and don't know he don't know. Yeah? You meet those guys? The fella who he ain't know, and he ain't know. Right? But when I think about people like my grandmother, a person that left school in the 6th grade, but had suggested that she served God all her life. My grandmother had a song that was her favorite song, right? My God is real.
Before I could feel him.
Because I could feel him.
You can feel him in your soul?
My God, I ain't arguing with you.
Yes, God is real.
And it's because I could feel him in my soul.
Well, that's deep.
I can't tell you what to feel. Don't ask me why you think I think he's real. Because he's real to me. And if you follow science any at all, you will find that there is a cognitive study right now that says that all men are only their depth of perception. You are only what you can perceive in your mind. And so there you have it. My existence doesn't exist outside of the existence and the knowledge of
Absolutely.
my faith.
Indeed.
All right, so that's happening in and around town today, but outside of that, there are some other things that are happening, and we're going to talk about them because they're happening, right? Again, I see the election cycle in Jamaica is heating up, and I don't know why, but this is the most exciting thing that I could find to do. I'm enjoying it.
The Jamaican elections, for some strange reason, have you attracted to it?
It is fascinating. Well, I will tell you what is fascinating, right? We're all British colonies, yes?
Yeah.
Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, the Bahamas, right? But it is fascinating to watch the Jamaicans use their native jargon, even on the rally stage, right? If fish go down a river bottom and tell you say shark there, nobody argue with the fish. You know what I mean? It's funny because I watch politicians in our own sphere try to be so proper all the time and try to be so wax eloquent all the time. And many times they trip themselves down with very difficult language that is entirely unnecessary, right? They say things that they themselves can't quite navigate. And sometimes you listen to a behaving politician and you think to yourself, what
did he say?
Yeah, what? And even when you listen to it on repeat, you say to yourself that even when I repeat it, that makes no sense. But like watching the Jamaicans lets me know that there is great value in like just authenticity.
Yeah, that's deep.
In not trying to be anything.
Because Holiness, when he speaks just like
He actually speaks proper, but there are times when he switches into the Jamaican patois, right?
Yeah.
And it's so fascinating because there are some of them among the candidates who, I mean, they ain't got a piece of standard English in them. Not one iota, right? And so among my mentors, distance or otherwise, is a man by the name of T.G. Morrison, right? And that's who came to my mind a couple of times when I was watching the Jamaican rallies, etc. Because I can tell you, T.G. Morrison is a man very equipped in the English language, but always reaches for his dialect. And so I'm fascinated by it always. But the Jamaican elections all have me fascinated. And I will say, we're going to go to it after the break, but I see that even people like Lisa Hanna, who I like and follow and have followed as a prominent female Caribbean political figure, she said something interesting, which I thought was interesting because we had actually discussed it here on this show before, and people castigated me for saying it, spiritual advisor. But can I tell you, the problem is not specific to the Bahamas. So I'm watching all of the Caribbean, right? I'm watching that there is a downward trend in crime in Jamaica, right? 40, I think the number is 44.5% or something to that effect, right? Or 45.4%.
That is huge.
Yeah, police killings are up.
Oh.
Police killings are up. That's exactly how they got the murder to go down in 2014.
Murder's down.
Yeah. Police killings are up. It's a direct correlation. When the police kill Negroes, Negroes will stop killing Negroes. All right? Don't ever be mistaken.
Because they don't want to be killed by the police.
No one wants to be killed next. So what the police have done in Jamaica is they have found killers and they have targeted them. And in some instances, they've baited them. And so they put their nemesis out for them to try to kill. And when you come to kill your ops, guess who you meet? The police.
The police.
Right there waiting to kill you.
Kill you.
It works. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyway, but we're going to talk about that and some of the other trends that I'm noticing in the Caribbean. Lisa Hanna is now saying that Caribbean people in Jamaica are not having babies. We're going to talk about that when I get back on the next side. Don't move. Freedom March is on its way back. Hello and welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. Bradley Road is in the studio with me. You're listening to us on 103.5, the Beat FM, channel 224, that's cable, channel 112, that's on Flow, and of course on ILTV Studio. So I mentioned it before we went to the break. I saw a clip floating around in social media today by Lisa Hanna, and I think that it mirrors what it is that we've discussed here before on Freedom March, right? Mm-hmm. But before I take us to that, let's go to these ads and get those out of the way.
Hey, Bahamas, ready to turn your event into a party? Royal Inflatables help you covered. From brand new bouncers to water slides and combo castles, fun is generated for all ages. Their equipment is clean and inspected daily, safe, spotless, and ready to go. Enjoy free setup and take down on-time delivery and 100% hassle-free service. Protection, or perfect for birthdays, school events, or any celebration. Call or WhatsApp now at 242-468-7268 to book. Let the bounce party begin. The Work Center, located Rosetta Street across the road from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back-to-school decades, Timberlands, and many, many more. So come on down, let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back-to-school. Thank you, producer.
Thank you very much, Spiritual Advisor. And so I saw this clip in social media today. I get it, it's not Jamaica, but our problems appear to mirror one another. Is that fair?
Okay.
Our challenges appear to be similar. The grievances we have appear to be identical. And the reason these things are important is how many children does your daddy have?
Father had 9.
9. How many do you have?
3 died. I have 1 child.
How much does your grandfather have?
9.
How much does the other grandfather have? Because you have a maternal and a paternal grandfather.
I can't remember.
More than 9?
I doubt it. About 7.
Okay. So there is a school of thought that in order for a society to sustain itself, each woman needs to bear 2.2 children in order for a society to sustainably recreate itself. Mm-hmm. Now, what would you say? What exactly is sustainably recreate? That's the question, right?
Yeah, okay.
So to sustainably recreate is that we create enough human beings to be able to, 1, meet the demand of the workforce, and to 2, pay social contributions to assist old people as they age.
Yeah, retirement.
Because young people pay the brunt of medical insurances and social safety, social security payments, correct? Mm-hmm. All right, so if you have an inadequate amount of young people, you will have a diminishing amount of contributions, which ultimately put a strain on the government's purse, because then the government has to generate money in order to take care of its sick, its elderly, and its maimed, right? But if you have a young, thriving, healthy population, the government can simply tax that youth. That's what it is. When you pay your NIB contributions, that is the government taxing your health and your youth in order to contribute to those persons that have already spent their health and their youth. Are you with me on that?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. And so in order for us to have a sustainably renewed or renewable population cycle, each adult female must have, and this is
at least 2 or 3 kids.
2.2, whatever the hell is.
No, you can't have 2.2 children now.
I can only tell you what the science is.
It's either 2 or 3.
Right? So you have to, each woman must have 2.2 children or there's about. Right? And we are massively under that number. We, collectively, black people, this region. Jamaica, the Bahamas, people in this region.
Okay.
All right? And so I thought Lisa Hanna's comments were interesting, and I wanted people to hear them. So let's go to the clip from Lisa Hanna, producer, so that she could tell you what is also happening
in the Bahamas,
in Jamaica.
Guess what, guys? You're not having enough babies. You're not, because Jamaica's population is shrinking. That's what the news said last week. But I can't blame you. You tell me that, it's hard for you even to afford some of your own living and adulting, let alone thinking of bringing a child into the world. Because guess what? childcare is expensive. And many of you tell me, so Lisa, who am I going to leave the child with when we have the child and we have to go to work or have to do things for our lives? And raising children feels out of your reach, almost like a luxury. So yeah, the news broke last week that our population is shrinking and our birth rate is now just 1.3%. In other words, far below the 2.1 children per woman needed to keep a country's population steady and to have a productive workforce in years to come. So yeah, it's about the metrics. So childcare and affordable childcare and the care economy has always occupied my mind. I've written several articles on this with solutions. And why it has is because from I was a young girl, I would always see 4 and 5-year-olds walking alone to school. I looked at the pedestrian attendants escorting them. I always would ask, who's taking care of our housekeeper's children when she's taking care of me? I think of parents who are raising children with disabilities, navigating a system that offers very little support. So we know that, over 40% of Jamaican families are single parent households. Most of them are headed by low income women. Without affordable childcare, many of those women can't work or study or even improve their lives. And I've met so many of them in my lifetime, women who come to me as a member of parliament just to ask for some chickens to raise or some cabbage seed or whatever it is to grow a cash crop or to ask for a welfare grant to sell, to offer things to send their children back to school and to stay home because they don't have anybody to leave the children with. So yeah, we've made progress for children in state care, and I was a part of that as Minister of Youth and Culture. But as a country, and this is successive administrations, we've done very little to create regulated, affordable childcare for all families in this country, especially low-income families. And the result is that parents are hustling, not because them did want born for turn hustler. Nobody wants to hustle their entire lives, but they have to stay present for their children, whether they sell as a vendor near to school or they are a small farmer and just planting very small subsistence crops. But other countries have found solutions. France covers up to 85% of childcare costs and double paternity leave. Denmark guarantees every child a daycare place from age 2, and they get parents to pay a minimum percentage of that cost if as needs be according to that statistic. And Japan offers free preschool for ages 3 to 5, and you can go and look more at it. So I can hear most of you saying, but Lisa, those are wealthy countries. Jamaica can't afford that. And you'd be right. We're not Denmark. We're not France. Doesn't matter to me. I've never compared myself to other countries because that doesn't mean we can't create our own system, and it doesn't mean we can't act because we have to start from where we are. We can partner with the private sector, as I've said before, and community organizations are already doing the work, scaling them, faith-based organizations with some targeted funding. You know what? We can even give tax incentives to companies, corporations to create on-site childcare or even support community childcare centers. We have all of these community centers in communities that are controlled by municipal corporations with boards. I won't get into that, but you can use them. And we can also integrate early childhood and care into schools, health centers, and community hubs, starting with families most in need. So yeah, Jamaica might not have billions to spend, but we can invest smarter because the cost of really doing nothing in lost productivity, in cycles of poverty from women who can't get out there or study, in children that are being left behind is far greater than the cost of building a solution and starting somewhere. So yeah, if we say Jamaica is progressive, then we must prove it. This is not just about having more babies. That's not what I'm saying. It's about building a Jamaica where no child is a burden and every parent, regardless of income, has the opportunity to thrive.
And the reason I go to this is because I note that the Minister of Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Rowell, has been in talks as of late about so many things surrounding employment, like maternity leave, paternity leave. What does it look like for the employer? What does it look like for the employee? We have people like the business community that are saying that they simply cannot afford to incentivize any other leave, right? But I'll tell you what I know to be the norm. They say that about everything. They've said that when we tried to lift the minimum wage the first time, the economy didn't grumble. They said it when we tried to lift the minimum wage the second time, the economy didn't grumble. They said that when we tried to get the majority rule holiday added to the calendar, the economy didn't crumble. All right. And the people like the Chamber of Commerce and them, they continue to predict doom and gloom every single time we propose anything that's not the thing we're already doing. You found that to be the norm?
Okay.
And so now you have to think about it, right? Jamaica's population went from 2,794,450 people in
So
2015.
they're like 1 point something now. Eh?
No,
They're still 2 million?
no, they're about 2,820,000. But that is a growth of about 25,000
Okay,
people
okay.
in the last 10 years. And it certainly can't take 10 years to make 30,000 Jamaicans. But the Bahamas similarly has been having this same struggle, right? One of my grandfathers has 29 children, the other has 18. My dad has 4. I have 2.
2.8 million.
Right? And the question becomes, like, is this going to be sustainable? Can Bahamians reasonably continue to expect some of the social welfare from its government that we enjoy today if we do not decide to bite the bullet and increase the population?
Yeah, and more children.
So you will either, because you can't have the orange without the peel, although the peel is bitter. Yes, the orange and the peel come in the same bag.
Package, yeah.
You will either grit your teeth with children in your youth, or bear the brunt of hard living as an old person for not having the children in your youth.
Yeah.
Because if we all collectively do not have the children, right? What will happen is there will be no social reserve to dip from.
Yeah, okay.
There will be no young people to pay the taxes or to do the work. And we will have to consider ungodly things like increasing the work age to 70. Because that is the only answer to replace the low birth rate.
Extend the work age. I think
So Bradley Rule-
they think we're doing that, eh?
They've considered it. So Bradley
Rule. Raise to the
Rule.
70.
So Bradley Rule wants to weed whack grass
Yeah, wait until you're dead.
until he's 70. Is that what you're saying to
And
me?
then I'm only promised streets going then.
Right. Well, unless you read the scripture that says a man shall live on the earth for 120 years.
No, man.
His days shall number 120 years.
Yeah.
Right? And I certainly don't want to cut grass till I'm 70.
No.
What is the answer though?
You get
And so
that?
I don't get why unions like the BPSU and they would be pushing back on things like increased maternal benefit, increased paternal benefit, and even increased allowances. Like, COVID has proven to us that a lot of the practices of business was actually dogmatic. And that you didn't need to have people in an office for 40 hours a week, right? Because remember, there was a time when we had people in the offices for 48 hours a week. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And then who changed it?
They went to 40-hour work week after that.
Who changed it?
I can't remember. which
Ingram.
government. Okay.
And so as societies evolve, right, I take my emails with me everywhere I go. I take my emails with me. There's not a time of the day I can't answer an email. Right? And largely, if you are not pitching a roof, you are answering emails. There are only 2 sets of work around here to do. Either you're pitching roof for a living, or you answer emails for a living, right? So if you have an email answering job, there is really no need for you to be in an office 5 days out of the week, because you could answer emails from anywhere in the world you are.
Yeah.
And if a lot of your work is authorizations and code entering and data filing, and technically you don't need to be in a fixed space to do that, and COVID proved that to us. You agree? Mm-hmm. Then why are people like the Employers Federation, the unions, the Chambers of Commerce, why are these people so adamant about not increasing benefits that, in my view, would incentivize childbearing? If If Barbados has now said they're having a population crisis, Jamaica has said they're having a population crisis, the Bahamas is having a population crisis. At what point do the intelligent people among us stop Rome from burning?
But remember now, the driving factor behind the population decrease, it's a mere fact that the average person fears that having 5 children would be difficult to support. And
But
sustain.
not having 5 children
You
would
see?
mean that you have no social benefit to collect when you're 65.
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
You can't get the orange out this bag without the peel.
So how do you drive the cost of raising a child in the country? How do you drive it down?
So we have to figure.
Because maybe if having 5 children could be affordable by the average person, then maybe people have more
So
children.
we have to incentivize it. So we have to figure out a way to incentivize it. And I think that this administration, under the leadership of the Honorable P.A. Glover Rule, has attempted that and has met pushback at every level. As a matter of fact, I heard the minister on the news the other day, and she sounds as though she no longer gives a flying frisbee about these people and their baby making, because she got 3 and she ain't care if all of y'all dead with no children, because y'all obviously don't want no children. And that's why she, you know what she said? I waiting on them to get back to me about the maternity benefits. They ain't waiting on me.
But it has increased in the Bahamas, though. The
What has increased?
The maternity benefit and also the live birth. I think at one point it used to be $3.25, now it's $5.50 or something like that.
You imagine that is sufficient incentivization? I think they were
I
talking
believe
about.
so. I don't know. I guess so.
They were talking about increasing the time that people got for maternity benefit,
Yeah.
right?
They want to increase the amount of time off
Yes.
from work.
Right. Because that appears to be the currency that Bahamian women accept. Bahamian women don't appear to give a hill of beans about the $400. They want to be off from work with their baby.
Then how does it affect the job, the work?
How does it affect the job? Because COVID proved that you could stay home for 2 years.
Okay.
COVID proved that unless you are a hotelier, you could stay home for 2 years. So what exactly are all of us doing in these offices every single day?
Maybe.
We've built these massive edifices, right? I mean, major conglomerates. Everybody happy to have a big old building on a hill, right? Light it up in the nighttime. But who that for? Who need to go in there?
Well, that's interesting.
This is my point. And here's the thing. When we say the word immigration crisis, y'all is one behind the whole city. You agree?
Yeah.
If I say the word immigration crisis 3 times fast here right now, this TV will melt.
Maybe because it is.
But if I say to you that we are having a population crisis, how come that doesn't make anybody more excited or motivated to assist their country?
The cost.
There ain't no, his learned lordships, Michael Barnett taught me this about
The
16
cost
years
of
ago.
raising children.
There ain't no such
So much
thing
headache.
as free lunch, spiritual advisor.
Yeah, somebody got to pay.
So if you don't pay for the baby at 21, you will pay for not having the baby at 61.
Wow.
But you will pay.
So we got to encourage folks to get married and have more kids.
Are we gonna do
Well,
that? Because the bishop say y'all ain't getting married.
But what is so unfortunate is you speak to a lot of the young ladies today, and most of them tell you they're not interested in having kids.
It is because the women that were born in the 60s associated fertility with poverty.
Oh.
The women that were the adults in the 80s said things to the children that were born in the 80s like, don't let no man burden you down with children.
This is true.
Don't let your thing make you a slave.
Yeah, this is true.
Make sure that you only need 1 of them or 2 of them. Mind you, her ma got 11 of them and she's baby number 11, you know. I hear they had one Rev around here the other day tell people they having too much baby. I hear he's the man 9th child. You think I listening to him? We've got to figure out how, though, to ensure that we have a sustainably renewable population.
Yeah. Well,
Unless all us just decide that we could wait till we 80. There has to be an answer. The question is, what is that answer? And is there something that the government is investing in that we could stop investing in so that we could incentivize childbearing? We live in a country where about 82% of the population is 82% of the land mass is entirely unoccupied. You agree with that?
Yeah, the Bahamas, yeah, definitely.
Me and you been to Kid Island the other day. You could throw
plenty
a
land,
handful of rock.
plenty land. Plenty
You
land.
could throw a handful of rock in every settlement and hit nobody. You agree? And when you get in some settlements, like if you get into Old Bight, that's a pretty big settlement. New Bight is a pretty big settlement. But when you get into settlements like Smith Bay and them, 12 people live there if it's 12. T-Bay, 9 people live there if it's 9. Stevenson, God help you when you get around there. You stand a better chance knocking a goat than actually seeing a human. You follow me? And so the point I'm making is, we claim to have all this land, but what is the benefit of the land if in fact there are no humans to occupy it? We claim about having all of the natural resources and the fisheries resources and the this thing and the next thing and the that thing, but if we're all gonna turn 70 and die, right? And there's nobody to bear up the weight of our society. Notwithstanding that, our children are all in mass moving out of the Bahamas. Then what exactly is the plan for the Bahamas to exist in the next 200 years?
No, that's an
or
interesting
Jamaica,
question.
or Barbados? Because if it takes a place like Jamaica, who had a population of 2 point, like I said, 2 point, what is it?
Now,
9, 2 point.
2.827.
They had about 2.7 million people 10 years ago.
So they didn't grow by 100,000?
No, they grew by about 25,000 people.
Okay, so
That's about 2,000 people. That's not enough human beings.
well, don't forget now, I think that which she may not have considered, a lot of Jamaicans live outside the country too.
Sure, but can you factor the diaspora in the national development plan? You cannot.
Well, they were there at some point and they left.
Yeah, they born there.
Yeah.
Some of them anyway. The point I'm making, spiritual advisor, is this, right? I think it's something that governments, the Caribbean over, have to give some thought to. Because I am of the view that the crime problem we have is tied directly to the social problems we have. The social problems we have are tied directly to the difficulty we are having with maternity and paternity benefits, right? Like if you could stay home and watch your children a little long. How is it that mama with no education had 13 children and none gone to jail?
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah.
Mama just had more time.
To be with the children.
Precisely.
And to keep them on the right track.
Precisely. So we have to figure out a way to make food cheaper. So
Right,
Papa one
right,
could do the work.
Right.
Mama could stay home and mind these children because these women don't look at it like to mind children, right? And then Grammys have to do what Grammys did in the past, which is watch children because babies belong to the Grammy.
So there's a comment coming from the Facebook page. It's costly, Levan, to have babies nowadays.
Sure.
Looking at healthcare, preschool transportation, clothing, food, and then of course the list goes on. And
Now,
that was my point.
Here's what I want you to ask that person, right? Spiritual advisor, I want to ask you this. Are you an employed man?
Yeah.
In 2025, you are an employed man.
Yeah, at work, yeah.
Your daddy, did he work your whole life?
No, he retired. My father probably retired when he was around 70 maybe.
70. So you, how old
65.
How old you would have been when your daddy was 70?
Maybe 40.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. How much of your adult life do you assume your daddy made more money than you made as an adult? My daddy doesn't make more money than I do as an adult. Sorry. My granddaddy makes nowhere near what I make as an adult.
My father made quite a bit.
But did he make more money than you? I'm not talking about... See, old people also had like false money.
I think my father always made more money than I ever made.
Your daddy made more money than you as an adult? Okay, well, maybe you are an anomaly. I'm telling you, my daddy didn't make more money. On paper, if I look at my earnings, on paper, my daddy never made more money than me as an adult. And my granddaddy, I eclipse his salary as an adult. Like, his salary doesn't even come into... like, we can't even compute it.
Obviously, I did not make as much money as my father as an adult because at one point, my father had like about 5 children in private school, if I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3. I was only able to keep one.
I'm asking you, here's what I'm saying to you. If you were to check your daddy's pay stubs, what you will find is that on paper, your daddy didn't make more money than you.
I think so. Okay. Maybe, I think so.
But somehow, he raised 5 children and put them through private school. There was something that we were doing socially correct then that we've got to figure out. That we are getting incorrect now. Anyway, you hear the jingle, don't move. Freedom March is going to be back after this break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us to the break. I'm Levin Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224, that's cable, 112, that's Flow. And ILTV Studios, that's on Facebook. Bradley Roll is in studio with me. He's the spiritual advisor for the whole Bahamas. But I understand we have Tanya on the line. Tanya, Welcome to Freedom March.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller, and good afternoon, spiritual advisor. It's your girl Tanya coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store. Your miracle right here at number 122 Mackey Street, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and for everyday living. And we are in the season of back to school. Yes, all of the smart shoppers are coming into Shop Smart to take advantage of not only our 20% off everything back to school, but they are in here taking advantage of our back to school sweepstake. If you are a smart shopper, all you need to do is come on in to Shop Smart and spend a minimum of $25 on back to school items, and you'll be eligible for one of our sweepstake drawing. We do drawings every Saturday in the month of August. We have four fabulous prizes: the first prize, second prize, third prize, fourth prize, all valued at $500 each. You can get yourself a $500 BPL voucher. You can win $500 grocery at your food store. You can win $500 gas in your car. Or you can win a $500 shopping spree in Shop Smart. A minimum purchase of only $25 of anything back to school at Shop Smart. Shop Smart, we've also got all of the spray ground backpacks that you need. Come on in, we've got you covered. And with the purchase of a spray ground backpack, you can get yourself 10 free books and 10 free folders. Come on in. Shop Smart is located right here at number 122 Mackey Street, and we're open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. Or you can visit us on our website at shopsmart242.com.
Very much, Tanya. And remember to shop early, to shop often, and to shop smart, eh?
Indeed.
So an article in the
It is.
one of the dailies on March 10th this year says days after the government announced plans to roll out a major labor reform this year, including extended maternity leave, Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation President Leo Rowell said that while the proposed reforms may sound good in theory, economic impact assessments must be conducted before implementation. He warned that without a clear understanding of the economic impact, these reforms could place undue strain on businesses, potentially leading to job losses or even closures. He said extending leave without working closely with the business community is a recipe for disaster. His comments come in response to the Minister of Labour, Pia Glover Rowell's announcement last week that the government plans to introduce several changes to labor laws this year, including extended maternity leave, paternity, and mental health leave. She said the government is working these reforms in close partnership with the relevant stakeholders, including union members and the business community. Peter Goody, the Chamber's Labour Division head, said that while the Chamber has met with Labour officials, it has yet to see what the government is proposing. Dr. Rowell expressing doubt that such reforms will be introduced this year. He said, we need to understand we can't just throw things out there because it sounds good. We have to understand the impact that it's going to have on the business community and understand how this is really going to be done. The BCCEC has previously said that it does not support extending maternity leave beyond 12 weeks, warning that such an extension could hurt small businesses and drive up consumer prices. And see, this is where I have a difficulty with all of these hyperbolic assessments. I don't think Dr. Rowell, I don't even know where his doctor's degree is from, but I don't think it is in how baby does affect the economy. And the question I have for Dr. Rowell, because I don't know what his doctoral degree is in, is we could hypothesize anything. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, Dr. Rowell, how many pickled peppers, in fact, did Peter Piper really pick? Nobody knows. And what if all the humans there, Doc? Then what happened to businesses then? And what if the whole workforce all and decrepit and sickly, Doc? What would happen to the cost of consumership then? I mean, we could just hyperbolize. I mean, ad nauseum. We could hyperbolize ad infinitum. What if I was a 6-foot man with a big beard? I mean, what else are we going to make a hyperbolic scenario about? The point I'm making is everything could be a possibility. Unless or until we just decide to make a decision. We have to sometimes just choose to do something. And here is what we know. Because Dr. Roll could go on and on and on and on about if salt wasn't in the ocean, would the fish be a saltwater creature? Or we could look at a fact that there is a population crisis that needs addressing.
It needs to be addressed.
And he could just make a hyperbolic scenario after hyperbolic scenario till he faint. If there are no human beings, Dr. Rule, then what is the plan? If there are no people, then what is the plan? If all of the people are old and sick and dead, what is the plan? And I hear Dr. Rule, again, I have no clue. What is he a doctor of? I'm not saying he isn't a doctor. I'm just saying I don't think that his thesis was in how having another baby will kill the whole economy. Because, I mean, it's just doom and gloom and, oh my God, if you have a baby, the earth is going to explode and who knows what's going to happen. Buildings will catch a fire. But what if they don't? What if it all works perfectly? Like it did when you took the minimum wage from $150 to $200. Or like it did when you took the minimum wage from $200 to $250. What if nothing happens? You remember the Y2K bug?
Yeah. When 2000 hit.
You remember when you all make me buy all that spam?
1999.
Producer, did you also buy spam for the Y2K bug? And if the world was coming to an end, what the hell did we need spam for? But we buy up one bunch of spam because we was all supposed to die. And I don't know how spam was supposed to stop me from dying. But I had a cupboard full of spam because some smart people tell me spam can spoil last. So buy that. Right?
It packed with songs.
We are now 20, how much years we is? 26 years past the Y2K bug. And guess what, spiritual advisor?
Yeah,
I ain't eat these spam yet. They probably still in my cupboard good and all because, you know, spam can't spoil.
Start eating it then.
But I'm saying, the answer can't just be don't do it. And so I want to say to all Bahamians of a breeding age, all women in the Bahamas under the sound of my voice that are of a breeding age, go ye into the world.
But now how do you address the church now? Because the church says you can't have children unless you're married.
Then the church have to figure out a way to get its members to decide that marriage is still the best way to go. It ain't my job. I'm a social activist. You let the... Listen, what the thing say? Render unto Caesar what is Caesar and unto God what is God. You tell Delton Fernanda, figure out how to get people getting married. That's my job as a social
So you're
activist.
faced with two problems now as relates to the population issue. One, young people, most of them are not interested in having children, and they're not interested in getting married. So what do you do?
We could incentivize baby making. I'm sure if you could incentivize marriage. How would you incentivize marriage?
By getting people to see it's God's ultimate way.
What about my agnostic friends? They
Male
ain't care
and
nothing but no
female
God.
to have the expression in marriage.
What about my agnostic friends? They don't care nothing but God. Now what?
Yeah. Boy, I tell you.
But even though they don't care but God, I know one thing. They know that when you plug this thing into that thing, those two things is fit together well. And if you plug it in and out and 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 in and out a couple of times, guess what? And in and out. Could you imagine?
But we'll survive though.
How?
Humans will always be
No,
here.
you can't. See, now you sound like those people
Humans
who say,
will always
the Lord
be
can make
here.
a way. The Lord has no other
As
hands
long as
but
they are
yours.
humans, we'll be here forever.
And you all will be old and sick and dying shortly.
We'll keep multiplying. Make no mistake about that.
But we are not. The numbers have proven that we are not.
It won't stop.
Oh boy.
We'll keep multiplying.
Anyway, the article goes on to say businesses, most of them are not making what people think they are. I think that is also categorically a lie, right? Because we know you all have no price control. You all are a bunch of price gouging hogs in business, if you ask my view. And here's what I will say, because you cannot justify these prices, right? There's absolutely no reason that a local bear costs $9. You can't show me a beach within 6 miles of your building, but the bear costs $9. It is because you all are greedy businessmen, and everybody just trying to cram these bank account up with loan money, and y'all are gonna go to hell
greedy?
where y'all don't need no money.
No, you have to pay $9 for the bear because he needs to pay his light bill. Don't forget that.
He need to pay the light bill and the girl who's serving it. But if the bear costs $60 a case and 24 bear in the case, that means technically he could sell the bear at $2.50 and still earn a profit. You agree? But of course, if you factor in what the girl's salary is and what the ice cooler and by the way, they like to sell hot bear around here, just in case you don't know, right? You could justifiably take the cost of a bear up to $3.50, right? But if you want to have it in ambience, you could justifiably take the cost of a bear up to $4. You do the math. Do the math. Check out your calculator. 24 bear times $4 is how much?
So you're saying that there are 24 bears in the case?
I said that they are price gouging. I want Randy Roll to go and stop them.
How many balls?
24 bear in the case.
24.
If you times that by $4, how much is that? $96. So if you bought a case of beer for $60 and sold it for $96, you made $36,
yeah.
Which means you made 52% profit. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that general area, correct? So tell me why you need to sell me the beer for $9. Let's go back to the maths. If you take 24 beer and you sell it at $9 a beer,
$216.
why, if you bought the beer for $60?
Yeah, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
You all go into a Christless hell. You all hear me? When you all get there will be no Jesus in hell with you all. And I'm saying to you,
they definitely will need the beer.
and it can be hot. That even can help them. But I'm saying to you, right? These people with their theses on the economy, and I never like to listen to economists because economists make presumptions, and when they miss, they say it's a presumption. And when they are stating these things, they act as though their statements are fact. But you let their numbers be off, and all of a sudden it was a presumption. Remember, you see how that works? So I don't listen to them, right? Economists, I don't listen to. I just let them talk because we need to have them. And as soon as they stop talking, I turn my ears back on. But people like Dr. Roll are saying, regarding the paternity leave, Dr. Roll said that while some businesses already offer the benefit, it should remain an option. If they can't afford it, fine, he said. But to enshrine that in law means that now it's a blanketed approach across all businesses that can or cannot afford it, and that's unfair to the business community. To the same business community that's charging me $9 for beer. That is gaining, if I'm not mistaken, 160% profit on each case. That's who it's unfair to.
He's getting rich quick.
And see, that's the problem. The problem is we have gone after filthy lucre.
But birthdays? Yeah.
We go into the birthdays.
Yeah.
I just want to finish cussing of the business
I don't know if you
community.
want to say, yeah. Okay.
So he said, suggesting that as many children as a father has, he will have leave for. Yes! Because when Shirley May have her children for Pookie, she can have a baby for Pookie and get time off. When she have the baby for Blacks, she get time off. When she come right behind and Tall Boy tell her he love her, she have a baby for Tall Boy, she get time off. And when she have the baby for Plait of Head, no one don't tell her she can't have no time off. So if I have more than one baby, I need more than one set of time off. What are you talking about? Anyway, let's go to birthdays.
All right, today is April, what is it? Wait, the 14th? Is it the 14th August? I see April the 14th, actually. Crystal, we want to wish a happy birthday to Crystal. Blessings, protection, prosperity in the future. Happy birthday, Crystal. Producer, is that Crystal or is that Crystally? How do you pronounce that? Crystal? Okay, good. Christina Maycock, happy birthday to Christina Maycock. Greetings coming from her grandfather, Richmond, the Butlers, the Maycocks, Johnson family. Enjoy your special day, Christina Maycock. Lexi, happy birthday, Lexi, from all who love you, all your family and friends. Enjoy your birthday. Special shout out to Patrice Ellis on her graduation from Liberty University. A very special shout out to the BPL Collection and Customer Service Department for doing an amazing job helping our producer today, Supervisor A. Green, E. Edwards, Neely, Mrs. Southland, and Mrs. Woods. Keep up the exemplary service, BPL.
All right, we have to go back. I must go back. I saw Patrice Ellis. She is one of my favorite human beings. Also, producer, do we have the birthday shout out to Oscar? That should be there. Look for that for me. But to Lady Patrice Ellis, listen, she has such a wonderful spot in my heart. You cannot begin to imagine it. She and I have had the occasion on several instances to be very, very near to one another. And can I tell you, you do not know a more sterling personality. She is such a vivacious human being who, get this, vivifies every pocket of every corner of every space that you put her in. And so I am so happy to see, because I know what a laborious journey it was, I am so happy to see that she has finally completed these studies. I know that it is something that meant a lot to her. I know that it is something that she has given great effort to. I know that it is something that she has added to her already well-decorated dossier of accomplishments, right? Because you know that she was a professional prior to her life in the clergy. And a lot of times people simply associate her with her time in the clergy. But no, she is actually a trained nurse.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, certified with a degree and everything. And then she decided that, you know what? She wanted to go and do just a little bit more. She is the quintessential definition of a woman's woman by every measuring stick I can imagine. And certainly she is a beacon on the hill that many, did I say quintessential? Is that what I said? What did I say the first time? She is the quintessential definition of a woman's woman and a beacon on the hill that many women can follow. And I want to congratulate her personally on my own behalf and on behalf of Freedom March and on behalf of everybody that I think should compliment her. She's a fantastic person, and so I want to offer my own congratulations again to Lady Patrice Ellis. I'm so ecstatic about this. She's one of my favorite people. You know, right after Lady Pinland and my ma, it's Lady Patrice Ellis, and that is what I want to say about that. So, Lady Ellis, congratulations on a very long journey now ended. All right, take me to Oscar. Is he in now? Oscar. Hold on, you gotta take me to the cue. Give me the verbiage. Why you only give me the verbiage? To Oscar, he's Charlotte Hours boy, you know. And so this is a happy birthday to Oscar Smith from his mummy, from his sister O'Shea, from his family, from his friends, especially the LA Tech family. He is apparently presently in Freeport representing Team Bahamas at the NACA. And we wish him all the best tomorrow on his event. And you see this boy here, spiritual advisor, this boy can run. He can run like it's nobody business. As a matter of fact, the police would do good to hire Oscar to teach them how to catch Pookie them. Because if the police had a couple of these on their team, Pookie them would stand no chance, I'm telling you. And so to Oscar, from your sister O'Shea and your wonderful darling mother, one Charlotte hour. Happy birthday and Godspeed tomorrow. I don't even have any trepidations in my heart about what you will do tomorrow. I know you will medal. I am certain of it. I am confident of it. I know it to be a fact that is what will happen tomorrow. And so tomorrow when you get the medal, just send us the picture with the medal, because that's all we're going to wait on here, so that we could again congratulate you on a job well done, because we know that's exactly what will happen. Any questions?
All right, so he's in college, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this boy can run like you can't believe.
All right.
Listen, you ever heard about Grease Lightning?
Listen.
Oscar Smith. That boy could run like, If he was a
He isn't as
slave, he would
fast
be
as a-
one of the slaves they never caught.
Is he as fast as Bolt?
Bolt is a joke.
Okay.
Bolt is a joke. He's the actual lightning. He's the actual
Let's see
lightning.
how well he does.
Yeah. All right. So that's the end of that. But again, to Lady Patrice Ellis, such a wonderful, darling lady. Congratulations. She and I, we were doing exams around the same time. And I remember we had occasion to be together in a space. And she said to me, Levan, I've had enough of these exams.
What was the latest accomplishment for her?
I think she got her, stand by, there was a whole write-up on it. She got her, I think, a master's degree in Christian psychology. I think it is, or family psychology. But I know it is a psychology area.
Something to do with the mind.
Or behavior.
Yeah.
And so I think that it will be something that she uses to impact the lives of people as she's done over the last 30 years in her Christian ministry.
Okay, well, interesting.
Yeah. You want to open the phone line now?
We got a question for you.
You got a question? Is it about my shirt again?
From Lady T. No, she wants to know. She said, well, you obviously you probably did make some more money or more money than your father did at your age.
Right.
And this person wants to know, well, how come you only have 2 children?
I wanted 10 children. The problem with having children in the Bahamas is you need a woman to have a child. And in the Bahamas, they also don't allow single men to adopt children. Actually, here's a fun fact about me. I tried to adopt children when I was 21. And the people in social service made me feel I was a criminal. And I remember absolutely hating myself even attempting that process. But I don't know, as life would have it. No, I wanted to give service to country. I didn't want to have children while I was in service because that demands a lot out of you. And I never wanted to have to choose between the uniform and my children. Because I watch people do that every day. I watch people every day decide whether or not they will go to sea or be there for their son's recital. And I never wanted that as a choice. So my entire time in service, I made a conscious decision that I would not have children. What the miscalculation for me is I didn't realize that to start having children at 30 was much later than my mind had conceptualized it would be. And if I could live my whole life over, I would have a baby at 19, one at 21, one at 23, one at 25, one at 27, one at 29, and I may have done 2 at 31. Because I feel like that was the last of my good, strong years.
Yeah.
And I would have just spent the rest of my life watching these children grow up. But at 40, with a 7-year-old, sometimes my 7-year-old wants to play jumping. And at 40,
You can still jump at 40.
I don't play jumping.
You're not 59 like me.
I
So
don't play jumping. I have to
jump.
tell my son all the time, listen, baby, your daddy is an old daddy. You have an old daddy. Your daddy can't play jumping off of no stairs. I have a strained tendon in one of my feet. If I jump off the stairs, I'm going to need to go and see the therapist. You follow me?
Yep.
None of these were things that existed when I was a 21-year-old boy, though. So at 21, I could have jumped off the top of the house with him if he wanted me to. And that is when I should have had the children. So if I could live my whole... I have no regrets about my life. The way my life has turned out, it is an open book. I live it every day for people to see it because it's something that I'm absolutely proud of. But if I could live my life again, the only adjustment I would make in my life...
Having children.
Yeah. Because here's another fun fact. The woman them that I thought I didn't want children with, they ain't too bad. Some of them actually still land on their foot. But I was cautious about that because the family lineage mattered to me, right? And the truth of the matter is, with the kind of bloodline I had, I might have been able to pull those children in the right direction anyway. Don't move, Freedom March. I'll be right back after this break. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM, channel 224. That's cable, channel 112. And of course, ILTV studios. I'm not saying it for you if you're already listening to us. You know our call signs. I'm saying it so that you could pick up the phone and call your friends and have your friends cut off the vapid nonsense that they're listening to on the radio and tell them to come here and listen to us on Freedom March, where often the goal is to inform, to educate, and sometimes we entertain. And so, while I'm at that, let me send a special shout out to my friends at Island Connect, who always do their very best to make sure that I'm my very best. I thank them so much. You know where to find them. They're over there by Sinahan School. Go tell Ali I send you. You could get your car clean, you could get your water full, you could get your hair cut, you could go get the oil. I can get nothing for spiritual advice yet. I wake it on that. I know. That oil, this head may put the oil to the test. But we're going to try it out. And see, they say that when you use the oil, it brings back lusty hair follicles, spiritual advisor.
Really?
Yeah. So would you like lusty hair follicles?
Oh, grow my hair back, okay.
Yeah, and we'll see what we can get done for you.
Interesting.
So tell Ali I sent you, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you over there at Island Connect. And of course, my friends over at the Kingsman Collection, why not be one of the Kingsmen, eh? Go and tell them I said hello and see what they do for you over there on Wolf Road. So I've said that to those people. And I want to send a special shout out to my wonderful, loving, darling niece, Jador, who is in Freeport City. And if you know her, please tell her uncle. She always tell me, uncle, you know, my niece never lets me forget that I and Uncle Levi is Uncle Junior. Uncle Junior, I just watch you on the TV. But to my darling niece, Jador, I want to say hello, Jador, from your wonderful uncle. All right? We going to the phone?
All right, let's open the lines.
Let's go to the phone now.
All right, 323-7775 is the number to call, 698.
How much sure did you want spiritual advice?
At least 2.
I wanted 10.
True.
I wanted 10. I didn't want to be coy about it. I always wanted a double-digit number of children. That was always a dream of mine. Again, regrettably, I didn't calculate. You know, when you say it as a young man, right? Like when you're 17, 30 sounds far, but not very far. But when you actually turn 30, you realize you do not want 10 children. And there's actually no real way to put 10 children between 30 and 40. Not without being unduly unfair to a woman. You would have to actually kill this woman to have 10 children in that window.
Yes, it's difficult.
Yeah. And so you factor these things in because and then of course there is the social welfare benefit side of it, right? Like national insurance won't pay the full benefits of maternity leave and that sort of stuff within a 3 to 4 year window. So there's that.
Yeah.
And there's just so many other factors that you factor in as an adult that you don't factor in as a 16 or 17-year-old person when you're contemplating these things. But again, if I could live my entire life over, I would have a baby at 19, 21, 22, 24, 25, 27, 28, 30, and 2 at 31. And I would hang it up.
Wow.
That's what I would do.
A lot of children. We got any calls, producer? 698-0775 and 698-0776. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Is a call there?
Are you there, caller?
Hi, hello.
Hey.
Hi, first time caller.
Welcome.
Hey, first time caller.
Hi, I'm a little bit baffled by a post I saw on Facebook with social services going through the homes and telephone owners are going to be demolished in a few days or weeks. And how come when the human goes, the social service will help for renting or light or for food or getting $25. But then you will help people in the rent. We have a lot of Bahamians living in that cars and go to social service and don't get no help. You're not me with that, please. You got to make things make sense.
So you're saying there's some hypocrisy going on?
Yes, I think this is political season, so this is the prison season, so anything for both, that's my concern.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
So we're talking, I mean, you need to stay help too. So who's going to help us?
Well, if it's for votes, I mean, I don't think the people in the shanty towns can vote. And if they can vote, then that means that they are Bahamians. And if they are Bahamians, then they require assistance from social service.
Okay, but a lot of them isn't ready to vote, but a lot of them is voting. Anything to be happening at this time. It's city season, you know.
No, listen to me. There's only one way to vote. You have to be a citizen. You agree?
It's supposed to be that way.
Right. And if you are in fact a citizen, then you are entitled to benefits from the social welfare fund.
But Levi, you know what I'm trying to say? We should do for one side and for all.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. No, I don't disagree. And I don't know if I agree with the Bahamian. Like, there's only one level of Bahamian. Like, there isn't a super deluxe version of Bahamian. But I take the point. I take the point that social service has to reach deeper and make sure that the people that require their assistance get their assistance. But of course, you know, when you get into these demolition of housings and that sort of stuff, there are some international criteria that must be met. You're aware of that, right?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And because
and
of...
also, on the news today in Britain, they were knocking down, there was loans as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you know that you cannot just displace people. You know that there are rules, international rules and treaties that prevent the displacement of people. So there are certain things a state must do whenever they remove these illegal developments. You follow me? So social services has to go in. They have to assess the need of the children because the needs of the child are protected by the United Nations, etc., etc. You follow what I'm saying to you?
I follow it.
Right. So I get it. It may trigger some angst or some anxiousness from Bahamians who are towing a line waiting on help. But if you're going to displace these people, this thing now becomes a priority matter because of international relations and international treaties and international watchdogs, etc., etc. Precisely. And so sometimes you have to move the machine in a way to make sure that you do not cause public embarrassment.
Also, we need to do too when landlords evict these Bahamian people and sending mothers and children. Social service should help with that too, placing them in the home as well.
Okay.
And not in the place on going it over and putting the street them.
I don't disagree with that.
All right, so
All right.
we got all man.
Thanks.
Thank you, Gola.
Thank you.
All right.
Let me also say a special hello to Ozzy and Justin, who are on their way to university in Austin, Texas. It's funny that Lil O is on his way to university. That must mean I'm turning into an old man. I remember when Little O was too short to see above the top of a desk. But now he's on his way to college, and that must mean that by jingles, I'm becoming an old man, spiritual advisor.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's take more calls.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey.
Spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Miller.
Hey.
All well with both of you all brothers today?
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. I'm calling concerning beach and parks. We would know when they pay.
You know, it's funny that you would say that, caller, and I'll tell you why, right? Because outside of the baby making thing that I did today as a show, I'll tell you what else I had planned to do as a show today. You want to hear me? Can you hear me? Don't listen to the radio. Don't listen to the radio. Listen to my voice.
Are you there, caller?
Okay, just hang up on him. I'll tell him what I wanted to say. The other thing, spiritual advisor, and I think I'm going to talk about this not tomorrow because we have a show planned tomorrow. Maybe Monday. If not Monday, we're supposed to have a guest on Tuesday, so maybe not Tuesday, but Wednesday. I wish I could find the name of all the financial officers in every single government ministry because I want to tell the Bahamian people, that's who y'all problems are with. Y'all problem here with the minister. Stop firing these decent politicians for public servants that create policies that do not benefit people. The problem with the public service and the way it interacts with the community is we have a bunch of accountants that have made up one bunch of rules that are archaic and anachronistic, and they serve no purpose, and they frustrate people to holy hell. And that is why every single month, even though it should be a copy and paste exercise, they can't get all money right in beaches and parks. There is an accountant somewhere whose head should come off. And I think that is a problem we are having the public service over. It is time to shake these public accountants. That is where the problem exists. If someone can't meet payroll, that means they ain't getting the necessary documents to the financial secretary in time. He can't put the necessary documents to the treasury in time. They can't authorize whatever purchase order or payment order or whatever the fancy language it is that they like to use, because they got one bunch of fancy language that don't move the delay. And so I am vehemently and adamantly seeking the name, because I want to publish the names of every single financial officer in the Bahamas. That's what I want to do. Because I want you all to know exactly who to be pissed off with. Because you all like to kill people like Jomo, and kill people like Mikkel, and kill who else is do government contract around here?
Ministry works.
And kill people like Decent Clay. Decent, wonderful Clay Sweden, who is so decent and wonderful. Right? And the whole time, it is a financial officer, an accountant, somewhere in one of these buildings that causing you all can't get you all money. Either because they ain't like the way the letter sound, or because the silliest one I've ever seen is they can't dictate to the service provider, so they hold on the money. You need the thing from the man who to sell the thing. You trying to tell the man how he have to write up his point of sales invoice. How? Which other place in the world you just go in the shop and tell the man how he could sell the item he's selling? Other than the government. And so the financial secretary has to revamp what it is that he does, so that he can revamp his little band of minions and get them marching in one direction that is more efficient. And Mr. Prime Minister, you don't pay me for advice, but I'll tell you one thing. Hear this like manna from heaven. You hear me? Financial officers made Hubert Ingram lose an election. Financial officers make Perry Christie lose an election. The only place that they make lose an election was Minutes, because Minutes make Minutes lose the election. But don't be like your two colleagues. If we don't get services to people, if we can't get payment to people, particularly in the times when the people need the payments most, they could blame the Prime Minister, sir. You ain't gotta listen to me.
Oh, sorry. We got some folks on it?
Yeah,
All right.
I turned to you so you could go to the phone call.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You live. Are you there, caller?
I wish someone could give me the name of every single one of them. I'm gonna put it right on this TV so you all know their name. I had enough of them. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Are you there, caller? 323-7775.
Because how come Beaches and Park can't pay the bill every month? What the whole accounts department do it?
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
Good day, everybody.
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down.
Lord, I don't know what hell is wrong with this phone.
Just turn the radio down.
I turned the radio off.
Okay, good. I can hear you now.
Okay. I was calling. I was trying to get back a couple days ago when you and Mr. Ramming was on, and I wanted to tell you guys. You said something, I think the day before Ramming or the same day, that you could be Prime Minister. And I want to say, because of what it is, I know that you stand for, what I hear you stand for, the way you speak, I would vote for you.
Listen, are you ready to be a member of the FNA?
I am already a member.
There you have it.
I'm already a member. You guys make me proud when I hear you, and it's only about 3 men that I've heard. It's a Mr. Thompson from Ministry of Tourism. I think he lives in Freeport.
Mm-hmm.
He does the Bahama Host lecture or something.
Okay.
That makes me proud to be a Bahamian, or gives me that extra life to say, like Mother said, there's more to Bahamians than what I see on a day-to-day basis. I want to say, just continue to do what you're doing. I am very proud. And you said you wanted to adopt.
Yeah, when I was 21 years old, I tried that. They made me feel like a rapist, and I'm not sure if I would ever go in that direction again.
No, but I want you to leave some of your knowledge because I am overjoyed and happy to know that you have the wisdom that you have and you have the ability to retain the knowledge that you have. Because some of these words is blowing me out the water. But don't give up on that, but leave some of that with these young men and young women that are growing up. Not to say or legally adopt them, but some type of program because I love what I see.
Thank you.
And what I hear.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carl. Take care.
Yeah, when I tried to adopt a baby, I'll never forget. I had the conversation with someone in social service. They gave me a number. I called. And the woman said, a big, strong, grown man like you want to adopt a baby? Well, what the hell wrong with you? This was a social service person that I spoke to. I was 21 years old. And when I was done with that conversation, I've never felt so, I don't know. I can't even think about a TV appropriate adjective. No, I'm serious, but I certainly never even contemplated it ever again after that. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March.
Freedom March.
Hey.
Devon.
Hey, buddy.
Brother Rule, take that call that woman just put on Miller just now. I know you're jealous now. But allow me to say, allow me to give condolence to Miss Heather Hunt from us to people here in Bamboo Town.
Okay. Yes.
We will keep her in our prayers.
Yes,
and
her husband died.
For her.
Yes, absolutely.
But now, what I want to say, now you tell me, Devon, I know spiritual advisor ain't going to answer me, but I can ask you the question. Show me that the FNM party is not holding on to a straw for life. They're now partnering everything with the PLP is doing. The PLP started a launch thing in Seabreeze. They didn't started someplace else. They're going on the same exact park.
Yeah.
You know, that shows no sign of leadership.
No.
Now they're having it in the east. Elizabeth Estates is in the east.
Yeah.
Seabreeze is in the east. But they don't have no candidates, no potential candidates to speak on behalf of the people in the east. So then they reach to the west and then they can let the people in the east speak it.
It's politics, man.
I don't know.
No, that's politics what they're trying to do.
It's politics.
You got to copy the book as yet?
I don't know,
It's
but what I
politics,
would say
man.
is this, caller. If I could say anything about the FNM, because, I wanted to be a FNM. They wouldn't let me be a FNM.
No, you do smart to be FNM, man.
Right, so now I'm just a FNA, right? I think the difficulty with the FNM is they do not want smart young people around them. And I think they have a bunch.
Right.
I think they have a bunch of little hand puppets. Right?
Let me say this in closing. The FNM is still being organized and run by two senior politicians.
And that's regrettable because I think the challenge they're having is they're not connecting. And the reason they're not connecting is because they're not resonating. And they're not resonating because their message offers nothing to people 45
Well,
and
I
more.
am so glad, and I'm going to go on this because I'm going to listen to spiritual. Let me hear spiritual advisors going to say on there. I am glad that I now understand that Mr. Tommy Turnquist is now supporting Mikhail Bonavie.
Wow.
I go on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what I will say to that is, he's a Bahamian, and I heard. Speaking of which, let's play the clip from Lady Penland. I hear the FNM trying to recruit Lady Penland. We have the clip from Lady Penland. Lady Penland says she's have to stay strong because the Kalani candidate's so good. The Kalani candidate tried to convince her to be a FNM and all. And I say, wow. Anyhow, Lady Penland.
I want to just make sure that PLP feeling is still with us.
Yes.
As you know, the PLP is a feeling.
Yes.
It is, and if you don't have that fire in your belly,
Ain't nothing happening.
you should know about this, Nikki. Yes, you do. Yes. So, because we have come such a long way. I get so excited when I see how we trifle. We work so hard for this country to win the government, and look how we trifling. Sometimes I feel like getting on the street corner and saying, listen, Shirley, you all got sense. You see that my husband is, he gave his all.
Yes.
And another 10 days or so, you will have been gone 25 years.
Wow.
and I ain't really cry yet, but I think I'm grateful if I cried. Because he did so much for us. But he's watching us. Let's continue on the road to success. And always remember the people. This party is about people. That's right. It ain't about me. Make it what you say.
That's right.
If it was about me, we, the original PLP government would not have been able to do all the things that we have done because it was about the country and the people.
That's right.
And it was anything and nothing was left for us. I can tell you.
That's right.
Where my daughter is. He left us. He forgot all about us. He forgot he had a family. Sometimes I wonder, what island is he on now? And because there was no means of contact.
No, sir.
That's all right. Saying that I'm such a believer.
That's right.
I didn't have to worry because I know he was safe.
That's right.
It was in God's hands.
Yes.
As you all know that God is leading this army.
Yes.
If we allowed to let him to lead the army, we'd outshine the sun.
That's right.
I came to be reassured that St. Barnabas was okay. Where's your MP? Growing up in St. Andrews, I grew up in a church called St. Barnabas Anglican Church. And so I do know some people in the church and they tell me that things looking pretty good. That's it. I can't give him a sauce, you know. But that's my duty right now, just to keep track of how we come in because we must get country, we must continue the work that I was called the Prime Minister Reverend, but hey, Reverend. He might get there later on. The FNMs are working, and particularly in Kalani, because they're trying to cultivate. They're trying to cultivate me. Because sometimes I think the PLP doing foolishness. And I get so angry with that. Since I have now retired, I can't get out there in public anymore. My job, because I'm 93 now. I don't have that kind of energy. But I can still talk. That's it. You know that I'm solid.
That's a rock.
How is it that we do not play the songs of yesterday?
I play it. Yes, I play it.
Mine. What happened to Chariots of Fire?
Yeah. Wow.
What happened for 9 rolled down in the bottom there shouting, "Speak, Moses"?
Yes.
Right.
See, you all don't know.
You're right.
Yes.
They don't play it. I just play it.
To give you that inspiration that we just...
And so I don't care what she's talking about. At any time, the 93-year-old former Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Marguerite, makes an appearance. I like to hear what she have to say. She said the F&M working so good in Kalani, boy, the F&M almost had up.
Trying to recruit her.
Boy, let's take another phone call before we go. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March. We have a call now, 323-777-569-80775. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Hi.
I'm calling about, a couple of calls ago, you had a gentleman on asking something about beaches and parks.
Yeah.
What he was asking about payment or?
Yeah,
Payment,
apparently
yes.
he says that they haven't been paid.
This month will make 2 months.
I don't know, but I go up to the Montague Beach every morning. That is one of the most disgraceful beaches in Nashville. And there's an old man there who cleans the beach every morning. Sometimes the other people on the beach might help him. They'll pick up bottles and plastics and stuff. The people who I thought was supposed to be cleaning the beach, they sit over on the park, they sit down, relax, have their breakfast. There's nobody coming over to clean the actual beach. Mm-hmm. Somebody told me that they're responsible for cleaning the park area, but who's cleaning the beach? The beach is dirty. It's that old man, and some of us help him sometimes pick up bottles, plastic, old papers and stuff. The beach would be a mess. And they always bring tourists out there during the daytime. Some of the tour buses bring tourists out there to swim.
Right.
But Montague's a mess. Right now there's a lot of seaweed that came in the last couple of weeks, and they all pile up. One man came one morning with his rake, and he raked them up in piles so that people could get someplace to walk.
Right.
Wow.
Other than that, there's just a lot of seaweed. I don't know what, years and years ago, they used to have a scraper that would come by and take up the seaweed. Now they don't have the scraper no more, and nobody does it manually.
Yeah.
I mean, when we believe they'll be sometimes pick up and clean up the beach, be doing it, by hand and just taking it up and putting it in bags and putting it up on the side, and hopefully they'll come and get it.
Yeah.
Which I mean, after a couple of days, 1 or 2 days, they'll move the bag and pull up with the garbage.
Yeah.
But that's a disgrace, and I called beaches and park office so many times. Not one person would answer that phone.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Well, we have to look at that.
Answer the phone.
I think beaches and parks is something that needs some looking at, and that is the only thing I want to say to them. I think they should look at it.
It's disgraceful out there, man. On Monica's disgraceful. And this old man picks it up every morning. 6 days a week he's out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller.
Anyway, you hear the jingle. That don't mean I owe the show, but it means I'm out of time. Thank you so much for joining us here on Freedom March on 103.5 The Beat FM, on channel 224, on channel 112, that's Cable and Flow, and of course on ILTV Studios. I'm Levan Miller. This is Freedom March. We'll see you again right here tomorrow.
If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back.